Hello, my name is Melanie Robinson. I'm a nurse practitioner. I have been a nurse for 20 years, and I would like to speak to you guys today about real life. I just want to throw it out there that I am not here to diagnose or treat anyone. And, if you have any concerns about your health or any symptoms that you may be having, then you should always seek help from your primary care physician or family care physician. Um, so, with that being said, let's continue. So, we have a lot of stuff going on right now with COVID-19, and a lot of people are at home, and a lot of people are not working. And, with the quarantine, a lot of people are getting antsy, getting cabin fever. A lot of families are home together and they're not used to being home together because everyone's usually out working. There's a lot of stress going on. People are worried about how they're going to be paying their bills and, how they're going to provide for their families. And, some people are just worried because they have family members that are sick and are affected from the virus. Some that are making funeral arrangements, some that can't even see their family or even attend a funeral because of what's going on right now. So, when you think about all of that stress, even up to the fact that people can't find toilet paper. I mean, all these little things, they're simple little things, but they all add up to stress. But if you think about that added to the regular stress that we have on an everyday basis, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So today I just wanted to hop on and talk to you guys a little bit about stress and what we can do to help to relieve stress. So, I know we've all had our feelings of overwhelm and anxiety and, just sadness and whatever. Everyone has emotions, some more than others, but, we all deal with things differently. So, with that being said, I wanted to touch base on adrenal fatigue. That word is thrown out there a lot. It is a lay term, but basically adrenal fatigue, it is basically overuse of the adrenal glands, and it's very different from the medical terminology adrenal insufficiency, also known as Addison's disease, which is actually the inadequate production of hormones because of an underlying disease or because of surgery or some other reason. So there is a definite difference in that. Anyhow, adrenal fatigue, the signs of adrenal fatigue are very simple. It's fatigue, it's irritability, it can be stomach issues, aches and pains, those are all the signs of adrenal fatigue. Now, your adrenal glands, they're part of your endocrine system. And so the main function of the adrenal glands, there's many different functions, but what the big deal is about the adrenal glands is that it's our number one, how could I say this? It's the frontline worker for stress. Okay, so that's it's in charge of stress and relieving stress. Okay, so what happens is your brain is the one that receives the signals that your body's having some sort of stress, right? And so the hypothalamus, it signals the pituitary gland, which then signals the adrenal glands. And so what happens is the adrenal glands, it releases the epinephrine and norepinephrine for that fight or flight response. Okay, now that all that energy that takes for that fight or flight response, it needs energy to fuel that. And so the adrenal glands, it excretes the cortisol, so it releases the cortisol for fuel, because that's going to release sugar. Okay, so the adrenal glands respond to stress. Okay, and so if you think about it, our everyday stress that we have, okay, we're we got to rush to work, we got to rush home, we got to figure out what we're gonna have for dinner, we got to worry about paying bills, we've got to worry about all different kinds of things, school projects, kids being pain in the butts, anything and everything, work issues, deadlines. It's all stress related. So our adrenal glands, they're not meant to be in constant states of stress, but the way that we live in a constant state of stress. So that's where adrenal fatigue comes in, because we're constantly in stress. So cortisol is not meant to stay in the body long term. But every time we're in stress, the adrenal glands is going to release cortisol, okay, for that fight or flight response. And that's where that terminology comes from, okay? So it's that overactive use of the adrenal glands. So with that being said, let's go into talking about little things that we can do to relieve stress. One of the biggest things is mindset. And so we are in the mindset of the constant routine. We do the same thing every day. We get up, we go to work, we come home, we're doing that regular routine that we do every day. And it's just a constant. Well, unfortunately, we have to get out of that mindset. Not to say that we aren't going to think about going to work, but we need to start thinking about ourselves. And so the first thing is going to be getting adequate sleep and adequate rest, which means that you have to take at least one day for yourself. You should have one day where you're not doing any work. And, that includes cooking and, anything. So you should have one day of rest. And, that's for yourself. That's for when you can do any kind of recreational activities, that's fine, but you shouldn't be doing work, okay? No laundry, no cooking, nothing like that. So it should be a day for yourself that you're doing your little R&R, okay? So that's one thing. That's something that I've had to learn, and I was bad with that because I used to work 7 days a week. And I didn't even realize how stressed I was until I stopped doing that. And so we're all brought up in that mindset. Well, I shouldn't say we are all, but I was been brought up into that mindset where I've had to be constantly working. Okay, my dad worked 2 and 3 jobs when I was younger, and so I guess that's just kind of I just kind of followed suit, right? But at that, I am a single mom, and so my biggest concern was providing for my daughter. And so that was my thing. I had to work. And that was the most important thing, because I had to make sure that I had my job, that I kept my job. And, that otherwise, if I didn't do that, then I wasn't going to be able to feed my child or have a roof over our head. So, but the thing about it is that, I had the mindset that if I didn't do what I was doing, if I didn't work as hard as I was working, that I wouldn't have all of that, or I would lose it. And unfortunately, it took this long for me to realize that that's not true. So, and with that being said, I started with my own self-development, and getting into reading more, which I always said I never had time to do. Was I didn't have time to read, which I really don't. I don't have time to read, but I do drive a lot. So I did Audible. I learned about Audible, and I started using Audible, and now that's like my best friend. So that's my companion. I listen to books. I fill my head with a lot of positive energy and a lot of positive thinking, and I'm working on myself. So there's tons of books out there, and I go from one to the next, and I just keep learning. I keep learning, and I keep growing, and it has really has helped me immensely to where I am today. So I just ran off on that, but going back on working on yourself, now I take I always take a day off now for myself, and I am doing things for myself. I'm doing different things. I have different things going on in my life. I started my own business with Young Living, and and I still have my full-time job, but I am working on my own personal business as well. And so I'm making time for myself, and I'm doing things. I've now gotten into gardening, and so my not so green thumb turned into a green thumb. Okay, I was never into clean living or organic or any of these kind of homeopathic type of stuff before, until 2017, when I started using Young Living products, and I was introduced to a totally different way of living, and going chemical free and all of that sort of thing. I'll touch on that a little bit later, but so with that being said, that kind of is where I started to grow as an individual, and learning about myself, and doing more self-development. So another thing is, which I'm terrible in the mornings. I'm not a morning person, but the one thing you want to do is you want to start your morning on a good note. Okay, so you always want to start your morning without stress. So rather than always going to pick up that phone and looking at your text or your emails, don't do that. Just get into a routine. Find a routine that you're going to do each morning, that you're going to start your day on a positive note. Okay, so whether that's prayer, whether it's exercise, whether it's meditation, walking your dog, sitting down to have a cup of coffee, whatever it is, find that routine and give yourself that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to yourself to start your day right. Okay, the other thing is scheduling your days. That's very important, and I'm struggling with that myself, but I am working on it. I'm doing better, and you obviously have to start small. So you can start by just doing making 3 goals for the day. 3 tasks that you need to complete for the day. All right, don't look at the big hard tasks. You want to look at your hard task, and you want to break it down into smaller tasks. So you want to look at 3 obtainable, achievable tasks that you can do each day. Okay, if you don't get all three, don't beat yourself up. Life happens. You're human. Say you get all three done and then some, hey, that's even better, right? But your three tasks that you're going to do each day is going to set you up to become more confident, and you're going to feel that sense of achievement. And it, like I said, it doesn't have to be something tough. For me, one of my tasks, and when I first started doing this, was making my bed in the morning. I didn't make my bed in the morning. I hated making my bed in the morning. So I made that one of my tasks because, it's a quick win, right? You do that first thing in the morning, right? Before you go to work, and you've already achieved something. One of your goals is achieved for the day already, okay? So your little wins will turn into big wins, but you've got to start somewhere, and you want to start somewhere where you can achieve your goals. Otherwise, you're going to be disappointed. So your goals do not have to be large. And let me rephrase that. Your tasks don't need to be large. You always want to have a big goal. And then from your big goal, you're going to have little goals underneath it, because you're going to do those little goals to reach to your big goal. But you always do want to have a big goal. But each day your tasks need to be achievable. Okay. Let's get away from that. Because that's a whole big thing. Your cell phone, checking your text messages, your emails, and returning phone calls, add that into your schedule. Allot yourself a block of time to do those things each day. That way you're not constantly looking at your email. Don't keep it open on your desktop. That's horrible. Why? Because we're constantly looking at it. Okay, we hear that email comes in, and we stop what we're doing and we look at that email, and then we get lost in what we're doing. So we're not working efficiently at that point. At that point, we're actually we're going to take longer to do a task than it should really take us, because we're being interrupted. The same thing, if you don't get adequate sleep, then you're not going to be working at your fullest capacity, and you're going to be tired, and you're going to be working harder and achieving less. So you have to get adequate sleep and rest, because your body has to regenerate. It's got to recalibrate. It's got to recharge. And, you need to give your body that chance to do that. All right. So let's see. Let's get into exercise. A lot of people like to exercise in the morning. Me, I'm not a morning person, so no, I don't. Mine's going to be in the evening time. But regardless, it doesn't matter. Take the time to exercise, whether you're going to do, go to the gym in the morning before you go to work, or go to the gym after work before you go home, whether it's a walk after dinner, or yoga in the morning, or yoga in the evening, whatever it is, do it. That's going to also give you a sense of accomplishment. It's going to release endorphins, and overall it's going to be good for your health anyways, and that's going to help to reduce stress. Having faith, whatever your belief is, that's very important as well, because you have to put your faith into something. And for me, I believe in God, and I wasn't putting my faith in God before, because my faith was in doing to keep this job, whereas I needed to have faith in God that He was going to give me what I needed to keep the job. Okay, because whether I work hard or not, it's up to Him anyways. So no matter what, at the end of the day, it's His choice. So I had to learn that, and I have to believe that, and so I do now. I always did, but I didn't realize that I didn't. So with that being said, you know, you have to have belief. There's got to be belief somewhere. So that's important as well. And so as far as let's see, where was I? As far as with you know, having faith, you know, you set your time aside for that. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to. I mean, I'm not telling you that you don't have to go to the church or to the synagogue or to chapel or wherever, but you know, that's something that's very personal. That's something that's within you and you know who you believe in. So let's move on from there. So hobbies, that's another important thing. Hobbies, like I said, I took up gardening. That's something that's new for me. I do a lot of DIY projects. I make my own face products. I do you know, my own face wash and toners and serums and all that good stuff. I make soaps and all that. So I've kind of gotten into a bunch of DIY projects. So I like to educate and you know, self-development as well. So those are my little things that I like to do. I like to you know, listen to the books, and I like listening to music. So that's also another good one. And let's see, some people are good with like art and sports. That's not my thing. But you know, some people are great with that. You know, my sister, she loves doing home decor, and she likes whatever, refurbishing or whatever she does. So the other thing that you want to look at is what's around you. You want to surround yourself with positive things, okay? You don't want to be around a lot of negative Nellies. You don't want a lot of negative energy around you. You want positivity. Negativity just breeds more negativity. And, you know, I've always been or felt that I've been a positive person. But I do realize that there was a point that I allowed the negativity around me to get to me, and it did. It was killing me, to be honest. And you know, I can actually I'm so much more sensitive to it now that, like, if I'm around any kind of negativity, I can like literally feel my chest being heavy. Like I can literally feel it. It feels like I'm just like almost like I'm gonna have an asthma attack or something. But that's how I feel now when I'm around negativity. So that's very important. So going on to food, okay. Another thing that you've got to look at, you need to eat healthy, read your labels, very important. And that goes for everything, not only food, that goes for all of your products that you use. Read your labels, because your skin is your largest organ, and it absorbs everything. So read the labels of lotions, you know, makeup, your laundry detergent, everything. Read the labels, and even if it says organic, even if it says natural, read the labels. If you don't know how to pronounce something, or if you don't know what it is, it's probably not good for you. Okay? So, and when it comes to labels, less is more. So the less ingredients, the better. Okay? If you see anything that says perfume or fragrance, that's all chemicals. That all that's going into your skin. So, you know, you always want to think twice about things like that. So you want to read your labels, especially those are things that you're putting on your skin, but think about things that you're ingesting, and it's going inside your body. So you want to read your labels. Less is more, and you want to be able to know what those ingredients are when you're reading it. Okay, so that's very important. Drinking lots of water, very important. All right, you want to increase your protein. You know, proteins, your body needs protein to repair. Okay, dark leafy green vegetables, also very important. You want to avoid sugars and artificial sweeteners and, you know, that sort of thing. Obviously, you know, you want to watch your sodium intake as well too, especially if you have high blood pressure. So those are little things too that you want to think about. Try to, if you're having carbs, try to have the good carbs, and also the fats. Also, you know, you want to do your good fats rather than all the bad stuff. Okay, so and supplements. Vitamins, you want to try to get most of your vitamins and minerals from your food, but you know, we can't all get those, and especially now with the foods, you know, everything's not as nutritious as, you know, we'd like them to be. So if you have to supplement, you want to do that. Make sure that you have adequate your adequate B vitamins. Right now you want to make sure that you're taking your vitamin C and your zinc and your fish oils for your fatty acids. But all of those things are important. Now, stress not only can it can cause a lot of issues. It can increase your blood pressure. You know, stress can cause you to have that belly fat. Stress can you know, can take people out of remission from certain diseases, and it can also cause you know, autoimmune responses. So there's a lot of things that can happen with stress. So that's why it's super important for us to try to reduce this as best as possible. I use a lot of essential oils. There's plenty of essential oils that are calming and grounding that I like to use. I apply my oils topically. I diffuse them, and you know, sometimes I just smell them. I add them to my bath sometime, and there are some that I actually ingest. That it's a, you know, they have to be pure oils though, pure oils. I actually use Young Living, like I mentioned before, and they have a Vitality line that is generally regarded safe for ingestion. So theirs is labeled specifically for ingestion. And so with those, there are oils that can be ingested. So it just depends what my aim is. But you know, there's so many good oils for relaxing, and that's basically anything that's going to make you relax is going to decrease your stress. So those are all things you want, things that are going to help you emotionally and to, you know, build you up. A few of my favorites, obviously lavender. Everyone loves lavender, but I use a lot of lavender. I use a lot of frankincense. I use those in my face products also, and Valor is one of my favorites. Honestly, that's one of my top ones, Valor, and that's a blend that it has several. It's got a lot of different oils in it, which is nice. I think it's got black spruce, blue tansy, camphor, and geranium in it. There's also another one called Peace and Calming, which is really nice. That has ylang ylang in it. It's got orange, tangerine, patchouli, and blue tansy. So those are some of my top oils that I use for relaxation. We can go into more detail with that another day, though. If you have any questions, you can always touch base with me. I'm on Facebook. But aside from that, you know, those are just some tips that you can do to try to reduce stress. And you know, this is a time now that most people have, you know, we've always said that we've never had time to do certain things. This is a time to do it, but use your time wisely. Work on yourself, learn about yourself, be good to yourself, and there's so many things out there. If you don't have a job, there's so many jobs out there that you can do on your own as an entrepreneur. Just ask. There's so many things out there. There's a lot of people that are doing very, very well. I'm working with a young girl, and she's an inspiration to me, and she's younger. She just turned 30, and she's a nurse as well. And she retired last year, June, and she was 29 at the time with a 4-year-old. And she retired from nursing, and she's an entrepreneur, and she's doing well. And she's working for herself. She's working. She has her own Young Living business, and she's working from home. She's got her kid at home, and she's married, and life is good for her. And she works hard, but she works hard for herself. And it took her some time, about 4 years to be where she is, but she did it, and she worked full time as a nurse, and she worked her way up to where she is. And it's very inspirational for me, honestly. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm older than her, but yeah, I'm gonna be like her one day. So anyways, this is a great group. This is a place where everyone needs to build each other up. And that's what we all need to do. We all need to build each other up, and, kind of get out of the funk. And, we can all help each other. And that's what it needs to be about. It's got to be one hand helping the other, and just going from there. And you'll find out as, the more positive things that you let into your life, the more you're going to see it paying it forward. You're going to see it paid forward back to you. And it's going to be little wins. So it's not like you're going to have a ton of money that falls into your lap, but you're going to see the more positive things in your life, you're going to see more unfold in front of you. And it can be the simplest things. It could be that you get a check for $20 in the mail. It could be that you go to Aldi's and you get, you don't need to pay 25 cents for a shopping cart because somebody gives it to you. Whatever it is, but you're going to see that unfold and unravel in front of you. The more positive you are, and the more positivity that you allow into your life, and you're going to have less stress, you're going to feel better, you're going to accomplish more, and you're going to be working less, and you're going to get the same, you're going to reach and achieve the same things, but just be good to yourself. All right, we will talk again, and I hope you guys have a great day.